Okay, we're back with the cakes. They're cooled down and we can take a look at them. A is the one where I carefully followed the procedures. So this is the cake. Let's go ahead and take the plastic off. It's nice and spongy. Good looking cake. And B is the one where I didn't follow the procedure. I'll take the plastic off. You can see it's a little darker, but it's still nice and spongy. They both weigh about the same. This one has a smoother surface, so A has a smoother surface, and it looks more like a cake. B has a very rough surface, as you can see. And there are some different colors in it, possibly from some of the things we added. It also is not quite as tall, so if we were to look at the edge of the cake, you can see that A is taller than B. I'm going to go ahead and plate them now. Here's the pan from A. You can see it's a fairly clean pan, a little bit of residue, but not much else. And A came out cleanly. It's a nice looking cake. B, there's a lot of residue. It was a little harder to get out of the pan, possibly from the extra sugar. It's much darker than A. See, here's A and B. And it still looks like a nice cake. There's a little bit of scarring where it stuck to the pan. And again, if we look at them edge on, you can see there's a little bit of difference. We're going to go ahead and slice it now. Okay, A cut cleanly, as you can see. Let's go ahead and remove A. Nice slice of cake on the plate. B did not cut quite as cleanly. Let's go ahead and remove the slice from B. But it's still a nice looking piece of cake. Now, taste test with A. Tastes like chocolate cake, of course. I'm going to cleanse my palate. Okay. Clean fork. Of course, clean plate. Now, let's try B. Kind of a bitter aftertaste. It's still spongy like regular cake, but it doesn't taste quite as good. Almost tastes burned. So there you go. They're pretty close. As like I said, cooking is chemistry. We tried an experiment. My hypothesis was that if we didn't follow the directions, we'd have a drastic difference between the two. I'll give you my hypothesis now. So if we didn't measure accurately like we did with this cake, it wouldn't turn out to be as nice. But it's pretty close. So I'd have to, an analysis of my results, I'd have to say that my hypothesis, well, that the results, as far as my analysis goes, the cakes are very similar, except that B, this is B, kind of tastes burned. It has a little bit of a bitter taste. It's a lot darker. It's still just as spongy, and it doesn't cut quite as cleanly as A, as you can see. But it's not as different as I'd expected. My original hypothesis was that by ignoring the directions and pretty much doing what I wanted, I'd have a disaster on my hands. The cake wouldn't set, it wouldn't be spongy, it'd be a mess. And it's not. So, if I looked at my two variables, A and B, I'd have to say that they're pretty similar. And for my results, I'd have to say that my hypothesis is probably inconclusive. I'd like to try a different brand of cake, maybe one with more ingredients, maybe making it from from scratch, and following the directions carefully with one and then not with the other. And we'll see how it turns out. So, next time, when we try some more cooking with chemistry. Sorry you don't get to have any cake.